up guys, Super from the Super Saiyan Sam channel here, and today there's so much Switch 2 news that I gotta get hyped real quick. Alright, let's get started. Rumor report indicates that 380,000 Switch 2 units have already shipped to North America. This info comes courtesy of user LIC or Lick, I guess that's how you say it, over on Family Boards forums. Yeah, if this is from Family Boards, then we can almost be certain that this is the truth. Those guys dissect the Switch 2 in like so many ways. They've known some of the specs of Switch 2 for so long, based on researching manufacturers and like other like exporting and importing stuff. They know what they're talking about. Like for example, they've known like the storage size, the RAM size of the Switch 2, even the graphics power they've known for months. Like, I think they were one of the first people to figure out how powerful this thing would actually be. Don't quote me on that, but they dig deep on this stuff. According to their research, a Vietnamese manufacturer called HVBG was contracted by Nintendo and has already produced and shipped over 383,000 units of the Switch 2. More specifically, those units were shipped to North America in January and are intended for distribution throughout the United States and Canada. In addition to the console themselves, Lick reports that HVBG has shipped 41,598 charging grips as well. Also, off topic for a second, the Nintendo San Francisco store is opening on May 15th, and I'll go over why this is important later. Now here's another article for the Switch 2. From Bloomberg, analysts who regularly communicate with Nintendo and software hardware partners anticipate a price of $400 or more, but still expect it to have the biggest launch in game history. That's insane. I mean, I can see it, but that's just crazy to think about. They will sell buttloads of Switch 2 in the first months, in particular, almost regardless of the price, said Tokyo-based industry watcher Sirkin Toda. We can expect a great software lineup in year one, from new Mario Kart and 3D Mario after 8 years to Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. That is an insane lineup that they're anticipating. There will also be third-party support from day one, most probably including blockbusters like Call of Duty. Now some of y'all might think, like, who cares about Call of Duty? But this is huge for Switch and Nintendo. Call of Duty is so popular now that I don't think it would take much to convince people, Call of Duty fans, to buy the Switch 2 just for Call of Duty by itself. The fact they can play Call of Duty on a portable console, that's all it takes to sell something like that. The original Switch's NVIDIA chip is estimated to cost $80 per unit, while the Switch 2's chip is likely to be in the $130 to $150 range. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo goes ahead with $499. Imagine the Switch 2 being the same price as PS5. That would be insane. Hiroshi Yamashina, who forecasts the Switch 2's price to be between $399 and $449, sees sales of 20 million units in its first year on the market. Wow. The company has been testing the waters for increasing pricing as it fights inflating costs of electronic components and software development. It's phasing out some official programs that allow consumers to buy discounted games, and is also asking consumers to pay more for its big budget titles. We've known about this. They're getting rid of game vouchers for Switch 2, and they're getting rid of gold points entirely for the My Nintendo program. And I expect the Switch 2 games will be $70 as well, sadly. Now we got more news for the Switch 2, and that is, when is it actually coming out? Well, some people are predicting May 15th. Let's read this post right here. The more pieces we put together, the clearer the picture becomes. May 15th is shaping up to be the perfect launch date for the Nintendo Switch 2. And the best part, this isn't just speculation, no insider sources, no leaks, just logic, patterns, and solid research from the community. Let's break it all down. We live in an instant gratification society where people want things now, not months later. Nintendo already confirmed the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd, so why wait months later again to launch Switch 2? They need to strike while the hype is at its peak. Doom: The Dark Ages drops May 15th. And history tells us there's a strong chance it could be a Switch 2 launch title. Nintendo has a long history with Doom, from the red cartridge on the Super Nintendo, to Doom 64, to even Doom Eternal on Switch. Every major Doom release is currently available on Nintendo Switch. And I've said it many times before on the podcast, I expect Microsoft to be Nintendo's biggest third-party publisher on Switch 2. That is weird to hear nowadays. Nintendo Switch 2 experienced event timing and strategic break. The Switch 2 Experience event runs from April 4th to May 11th across major Switch 2 launch regions. before taking a 20-day break, resuming on May 31st in Seoul, a region historically excluded from Nintendo's initial console launches. The Switch 1 launched there 9 months later in December 2017. This gap strongly suggests Nintendo is using this time to launch the Switch 2, as there is no reason to halt momentum unless it's a major event. LEGO Mario Kart is releasing on May 15th. Dang it, I was going to talk about this. I was going to talk about Mario Day in a different video, but I didn't think it was that interesting. But now it's being brought up again. LEGO almost always launches their big collaborative sets, be it with Nintendo or any other collaboration, at the beginning of the month and on the weekend. Yeah, this one is dropping midweek on Thursday, May 15th. According to Andre's Restart research, this breaks LEGO's usual pattern, and when LEGO deviates from a pattern, it's usually for a strategic reason. Some have argued that Nintendo wouldn't release LEGO Mario Kart on the same day as Switch 2 because it would kill people's wallets. But let's be real, Nintendo knows it'll sell out regardless. The key here is that May 15th is an exclusive launch through LEGO.com. Retailers like Amazon and Target won't have it until July 1st. Why fragment the release date for a LEGO product unless it's tied to a major event? It's all part of the strategy. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Nintendo San Francisco opens May 15th, and launching the Switch 2 the same day isn't a coincidence. It's strategic in my opinion. People underestimate how much strategy goes into picking a grand opening date. Aligning Nintendo's first Western store with its biggest product launch in years guarantees headlines, maximizes hype, and drives foot traffic. A soft opening, unadvertised opening, 1 to 2 weeks before to ensure the staff is set up for success seems likely, making May 15th to look even more locked in. Yeah, we talked about this already, but they say this confirms the mass production is well underway, adding even more weight to the growing evidence for a May 15th launch. And remember, this is just from one of Nintendo's manufacturing plants. They have multiple facilities, meaning the actual number of completed units could be significantly higher. You don't ship out nearly 400,000 units just to let them sit in a warehouse. That costs Nintendo money and increases the risk of leaks. When it comes to logistics and supply chain management, Nintendo is an absolute boss. These units are moving fast for a reason. Dang bro, this just keeps on going. Donkey Kong Country opens at Super Nintendo World on Thursday, May 22nd. But if the Switch 2 was launching then, the last place Nintendo would want fans is to be waiting in line for a console instead of enjoying the park. A May 15th launch lets Nintendo own the headlines for 2 straight weeks. Strategic timing for maximum impact. A May 15th launch is far more effective than releasing during Memorial Day weekend, when many are traveling. Nintendo wants to Switch 2 in players' hands as school lets out for summer, ensuring it's taken on flights, road trips, and vacations. That's a good point. This fuels organic word-of-mouth marketing, as Nintendo's biggest fans, day one adopters, show off their new console in public, essentially selling the Switch 2 for Nintendo free of charge. And have you noticed that May's game release calendar is suspiciously light? Big games tend to avoid launching near a major console release. Right now, May is looking like a ghost town. Maybe that's because the Switch 2's launch lineup is missing. Boom! These are very good points. I don't think developers can say anything about what games are be on Switch 2, at least most of them, until April 2nd, where all the games will be shown at. I mean, just look at this lineup though. New Mario Kart, new 3D Mario, Pikmin, Metro Prime 4, third-party support including Call of Duty, and more. You know why this is the biggest launch? Is because this is basically a PS4, but it's handheld. And PS4 still gets games today. The third-party games on this thing are going to go crazy. Speaking of which, Oblivion might be on Switch 2. Nate the Hate, who previously told us when the Switch 2 was going to be revealed, is saying that Oblivion will be both revealed and released in April. Now this person asks, reveal at Switch 2 Direct perhaps? And Nate the Hate says, haven't heard of a Switch 2 version, and the week of expectation that I've heard doesn't match. Now just because he hasn't heard of a Switch 2 version doesn't entirely line it out of the Switch 2. He just hasn't heard of it coming to Switch 2 from his sources. And it could release in April, as he said, and then later the next month on Switch 2, because everybody thinks it's May 15th. I'm just imagining Oblivion being shown on the Switch 2, just like how Skyrim was shown on the Switch 1 when it was first revealed. What do you guys think? Do you think the Switch 2 will release on May 15th specifically, or sometime in May? Maybe in April? Maybe in June? And what games do y'all think will be on day one in year one of Switch 2? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, Sans.